how do we not talk about the fallout in the last like 72 hours regarding Boston and New York? um, YouTube, we're gonna start in about a minute. Thank you, TikTok, for joining. We'll obviously do about like 20-ish minutes TikTok, and then we'll switch around to 20-ish minutes on Instagram. So thank you all for joining me here on TikTok. We're gonna again be going live very soon over on YouTube on the live stream there. Thank you so much. Okay. So yeah, hang tight, chat. Hang tight. Hang tight. Thank you so much. Okay. What we got? What we got here? What we got here? Okay. We probably should have the schedule up, and then we also need to have. Actually, there's a couple other travel stories. Airbnb apparently is giving people money, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Let's go. Okay, I think we could start going live. So, hey, TikTok, how you doing? This is kind of behind the scenes, of course, is before we start. Let's go with the fan festival list because that's obviously kind of that is massively important right now, considering everything that has gone down. Okay, let's go ahead live on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me here today, folks. All right. Vamos Mexico, dale, dale. All right, mi gente. Look, let's start. Let's start maybe with a bit of a bit of a maybe an opinion piece. Okay, I don't know if what's been going on in the past 72 hours with the issue of Foxborough not wanting to give this entertainment license to the World Cup, right, to host the World Cup matches. I don't know if this fallout from the fan festival being canceled in New York, I don't know if that means the World Cup is falling apart, if the House of Cards is going to reveal itself, and we're going to just have one of the shittiest World Cups in living memory, or this is kind of the crisis moment that every World Cup sees, right? Every World Cup has had this crisis moment, right? Oh, the stadiums are not ready, right? We could talk about Azteca, right? There's reports coming out of Mexico that Azteca is not going to be ready by the World Cup, right? We've had these reports happen time and again in the past, right? Que si el estadio no está listo, que the security is going to be a problem. Like, for example, that was a big deal in South Africa. I remember back when I was in high school, right? That the fans are not going to be safe, right? They're going to get jumped by everybody, right? Every day, everyone's going to get jumped. And then nothing happens, right? You know, the event goes off mostly without a hitch, without any major problems. Everyone goes home happy, right? We don't know if that is what's going to happen here, right? With all of this that's going on in the past 72 hours, right? El hecho que, obviamente, the Foxborough town government, right? The Foxborough government, as you can imagine, they're like, well, we don't want to pay. We don't want to be stuck with the bill of $8 million for these World Cup matches to provide security. That shit ain't our problem. Like y'all didn't tell us that we had to pay for that. Y'all were supposed to pay for that, right? So I can understand why the town of Foxborough, Massachusetts, doesn't want to be footing the bill for something that they are not going to gain any economic benefit from. And I think a lot of people need to understand that. Foxborough, Massachusetts is a small town of about 18 to 20,000 people. They don't have the number of restaurants, hotels, shops to acquire revenue from, whether in the form of taxes or just general spending. They don't have that capability. That's Boston, an hour away. That's even Providence, about half hour, 45 minutes away. That's not Foxborough. So Foxborough cannot possibly take on all of this money, right? Take on $8 million, ask for its residents to pay about $300 to $500 extra in taxes per resident to cover this. Okay? I'm wondering why they're only speaking about it now. Because for the longest time, the Foxborough Town Hall, right, the town government, was being told, we're going to get your money, we're going to get your money. Basically, FIFA and the Boston World Cup Organizing Committee have been acting like cheap asses. They've been acting cheap, you know. It's, instead of just coming in to that town hall and basically saying, yo, we got your check ready, right? We got the checkbook right here. Here's $8 million. Boom, right? Here's $8 million right there, right? That's what Foxborough was expecting, right? $8 million, boom, right? And yet, that hasn't happened. And so Foxborough was like, well, what is our money? So you can imagine, where is our money, right? If we don't get this money, we ain't giving you the license. And they need the license. Legally speaking, they need the license so that the games can happen. This isn't just like a small inconvenience. Again, that's why I started this conversation with, I don't know if this is just the political bullshit, as I'm used to here in DC all the time, okay? I don't know if it's just the political drama, the political theater. You know, maybe these town hall, you know, the Foxborough Town Council needs to be given some extra bribes on the side. I don't know. I'm not trying to accuse them of wanting to take bribes in order to make these games happen, right? I'm not saying that, right? I don't want to disrespect Foxborough like that. What I am saying is, though, is that you're telling me FIFA, the largest nonprofit organization in the world with billions of dollars in their coffers, ain't willing to give up $8 million bucks? You're telling me Robert Kraft, one of the biggest billionaires in this country, owner of the New England Patriots, owner of that fucking stadium, and he was responsible for bringing the World Cup to Boston. You telling me he don't got $8 million in the pocket to fucking pay for this shit? Boston. The promotion is, we're going to Boston. We all know in the States, no, we're actually going to Foxborough. We ain't going to Boston. Right? We all know this, right? As Americans, right? Like that we live here, right? We know it's not Boston. We know it's Foxborough. Boston ain't going to give the $8 million. The state government of Massachusetts, y'all have not figured this out. And granted, this is a Democrat state, okay? So I want to make that perfectly clear. This is a Democrat state. Boston is has a Democrat government in it. Of course, Robert Kraft is one of the biggest Trump supporters out there, so there's also that to be considered. I don't know what the politics of Foxborough are. I would imagine a bit more leaning conservative because, you know, they're not necessarily near the major cities. So this transcends the political parties, right? And this is strictly a fight about who gets paid. Because what Foxborough was saying is, yo, if we don't get paid the $8 million, say we give this license, right? We then say, basically what FIFA's saying is, que Dios te pague, right? Fuck it. Que Dios te pague, eventually this money will come through. If after the World Cup, Foxborough still hasn't been paid, right? They still haven't been gotten that check. Literally one of the council people for Foxborough said, who do we sue for that money? Because FIFA will be gone. The Boston World Cup Organizing Committee as an institution will be gone. It'll be dissolved. So who does Foxborough sue? And thus, there's your political problem. Foxborough basically has no one to sue for any money. So that $8 million se lo tienen que comer. And that's not what they want to do to their residents. They don't want their residents to pay $8 million extra. It basically becomes an $8 million tax on Foxborough to host these World Cup matches that they do not gain economically from. But why are you talking about politics? Exactly. In terms of organization and finances, I've never heard about this happening before the World Cup. Well, because, put it this way, Qatar, single organizing committee, and that was the national government, right? Everyone was on board. Hey, Qatar, this is a statehood project, right? This is a nation-building project, right? We are all on the same page. Russia, Putin, state-building project, right? Make Russia look good, right? Everyone, same fucking page. Brazil, even for that matter, which is kind of like the last democracy that FIFA has dealt with. Even with Brazil, yes, there was issues of corruption. Absolutely. Were there issues of getting things done and whatnot? Yes, of course, right? But I think we have not seen something this bad if we were to compare with another democracy since Brazil, where the level of mismanagement, of lack of transparency, of organization is just so blatantly, obviously failing in front of us. Trump is using the World Cup to build his war machine. He is. He does want to. Of course, this is straight up 101 sports washing, chat. Everything that we accused Qatar of doing, we doing it too. Wait, why don't the states or attorney general go after FIFA themselves and kick them out for their greed and BS? Because again, if we then kick out FIFA, right? If the state or the AG kicks out FIFA, then FIFA can say, well, the games ain't happening here. right? But it's funny enough, it's Foxborough that's saying, well, we're not going to have the games here unless we get paid our $8 million. So that's the thing, right? It's like who kicks out who first, right? Basically, FIFA saying, well, shit, fuck, just the pocket, bro. Like, you know? And so that's why everyone's passing the hot potato on to the Nets person, to the Nets organization, because they don't want to be responsible for paying the $8 million fucking dollars in Boston. Okay? Who should be paying this? FIFA. And if not, Robert Kraft. That's just straight up how it should be. It should be one or the other. It should not have to be the residents of Foxborough, Massachusetts, mind you, a town which I probably, don't really lean on, politically. I'm probably not, aligned with them. Probably, they're definitely much wealthier probably as a community compared to, where I grew up. But I would agree that they shouldn't have to pay for this. if they're not going to benefit from it, they shouldn't have to pay for it. Okay? So, of course, what that means is for now, the games that are impacted in Boston are Haiti, Scotland, the European playoff against Norway, Scotland, Morocco, England, Ghana, Norway, France, and they got 2 knockout rounds, one in the quarterfinals. So this isn't some just like, oh, they'll figure it out, it'll be fine. Maybe, because it's happened in every other previous World Cup, right? Again, that's why I started with this conversation of, look, in every previous World Cup, there's always been issues, right? There's always been issues in every single previous World Cup, right? Could this situation with Boston just be another of those moments, right? It could be, right? Because in every other previous World Cup, we've always had a crisis moment and then everything turns out to be fine, right? But something tells me that this is a little bit different, and I'm trying to take out my bias against Trump. Yes, my bias against Infantino. Yes, I'm trying to remove these biases, right? These biases that I have. Okay, I'm trying to remove them, and I'm really trying to think with an open mind. Is this a sign, right? And I'm trying to put on like my hat as a student of history, since I studied history and studied public administration. Is this the sign of a failure, of an incoming failure, or not? Okay. You have politicking happening in Boston. More than likely, that does get resolved because again, it's always been resolved. I don't know. Okay, it kind of reminds me, and maybe this is a bit of a dramatic example of when right before World War I began. Right, open up your history books. Right, open up your history books. Before World War I happened, everyone in the world, for the most part, right, or at least the stock markets. Let's look at that. The stock markets of the major European capitals did not believe that a major global war between the European powers was going to happen. Days before it actually began, they were like, no, it just cannot happen. Our economies are integrated. Like we all trade with each other. That would be fucking stupid. A few days later, we all shooting each other, 4 years of war. The European economies are devastated. I get that feeling that with this Boston thing, and then we'll move over to the New York Fan Festival getting canceled, I'm getting this feeling that this is the, oh shit, when we go back and look at this, this was the moment when we should have said, oh, this World Cup is going to fall apart. And that's that I've not mentioned Infantino's presence at this Board of Peace meeting that they had here in D.C., 25 minutes away from me, right across the river. Okay? Where he's like wearing the stupid ass MAGA hat. I got MAGA hat. Where at the same time, you got these 2 incidents in Boston, New York falling apart. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be when we look back and say, yep, that week in February when this shit went down with Boston and with New York, yeah, that's when we should have seen that this World Cup was going to fail. We don't know. I don't know. I'm obviously speculating. I'm obviously putting the information in front of you. And what we can say is that, yeah, this hasn't really happened before. And so if something hasn't happened before, should we continue with the football determinism, as I coined it, football determinism, where es mundial, va a pasar esto, vamos a seguir adelante, the World Cup's going to happen, nothing's bad's going to happen, right? Kind of reminds me of the mayor of Amityville. If you've seen the movie Jaws, right? Maybe some of y'all young bloods haven't seen the movie Jaws, but like it reminds me of that mayor, right? It's like, no, the beaches will be open because it's a fucking 4th of July week. I think it's the 4th of July weekend, right? Or the beginning of summer, right? The beaches will open, right? I feel like this is how we're treating the World Cup, right? The World Cup will happen. Okay. Okay. Maybe it does. But at what cost? At what cost? We don't know. I don't know if it's been covered, but tickets were already being sold to, for the Fan Fest. Any idea what happens to those buyers? Yeah, so let's talk about that now. The Fan Festival that has been canceled at New York, New Jersey. It's been canceled. The New Jersey state government pulled the plug on it, and they said, nope, we're not going to spend the $5 million that we had assigned to it anymore, and instead we're going to create more of a local community event, which admittedly, I will say, that's about the only good news in this situation, right? Instead of having this one big mega event and maybe marginally benefiting members of the local community in that area, now you remove you take out the Fan Fest, and now you kind of create a situation. You have to create this list sooner rather than later, where now you're getting to do activations in many communities in that area, right? The Portuguese are there, the Ecuadorianos are there, the Colombians are there, a bunch of peoples, right? Italians are there, all over throughout New Jersey, right? Like you create these community activations, and that's a good idea. I'm not saying it's not. Pero the fact that first of all, New York, New Jersey got a lot of heat because they were trying to sell tickets to the Fan Festival, right, at $10. For those of you that bought tickets, you will be refunded in the next, I think, 14 to 21 days. Okay? And so the fact that they were selling that tells me that they knew they did not have enough money to cover the operational cost of hosting the Fan Festival. And as you can see on my screen, right, I do have this list on my website at travelfootballfan.com. Only Philadelphia and Dallas has full 39-day Fan Festivals. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Only Philadelphia and Dallas has full 39-day Fan Festivals. Okay? Miami's Fan Festival, June 13th through July 5th. So that's not the entirety of the World Cup. Okay? So far, no other Fan Festival in any of the 3 countries will be ticketed. Right? So far. And no Fan Festival in DC. These are only Fan Festivals in the host cities. Okay? So again, on my screen here, okay, and by the way, I'm hosting a YouTube live stream. So TikTok, if you want to join me on YouTube, you can go ahead and do so. Okay? Miami is only hosting a Fan Festival from June 13 to July 5th. Atlanta is only hosting 20 days of Fan Festivals. They haven't set the dates, but they said something about the day before and the day of the game. So that should cover 16 days because I think Atlanta has 8 games. Boston said 16 days, and that's actually pending whether these games are going to happen in Boston. We'll have to wait and see. Boston said 16 days. Kansas City said 18 days on these dates. On these dates, select dates, June 11th through the 14th, June 16th, June 19th through the 21st, June 24th through the 27th, July 3rd through the 5th, July 9th through the 11th. That is Kansas City. Houston, June 14th through July 4th. LA only has 5 days of a Fan Festival, and they are doing what now New Jersey's doing, which is a whole bunch of community activations, June 11th through June 15th. San Francisco has not announced a Fan Festival. Indications are that San Francisco is most likely not going to have a Fan Festival because of the quality of the games that they got. They feel like it is not worth the costs to put a Fan Festival on when the quality of the games is not going to attract a number of people. And Seattle has said that they're going to do it at the Seattle Center, but they have not announced dates yet. Okay? So, the problem with all this, right, is that if you were looking to travel throughout the United States to attend the Fan Festivals, now you have to pay attention to these dates. That's the problem, right? That now you're having to figure out, well, I wanted to go to Miami, por ejemplo, right, to go to the Fan Festival, pero si el partido de tercer puesto no va a tener un Fan Festival, póngale eso. Miami's not going to have a Fan Festival for the third place match. What is that shit? For the third place match, for the second to last game of this World Cup, and you're telling me Miami's not having a fan festival for it? That can't make any sense, chat. Okay? Folks, you can visit my website, travelfootballfan.com, for a full list of the fan festivals, the dates, and the information I've been able to gather. Mexico is all 39 days, although Monterrey, I saw some information about Monterrey maybe going back and not doing a full 39-day fan festival, but I'll have to double check with them. And Vancouver and Toronto are doing full 39-day fan festivals, okay? How amazing would it be if we get Mexico, England in the round of 16 out of second? That'd be crazy. Going to Kansas City, round of 32, July 3rd. Looks like a big fan fest at the World War I Memorial. Correct. It will be at the World War I Memorial in Kansas City. That is correct, okay? So, again, go to my website, travelfootballfan.com. Under 2026 World Cup, you will see a button for the World Cup Fan Festivals. I have the information there for y'all. I probably should maybe add a link to the sites as well, just in case. But again, folks, the fact that the New York, New Jersey thing got canceled, and I know some people were also asking me, thank you for the followers there, I appreciate it. Again, you can also go ahead and support my work here on YouTube by subscribing to my channel. Go ahead and submit a dono with a sticker, or you can go ahead and buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/travelfootballfan. Make sure that you follow me across all socials. Subscribe to my YouTube because I'm going to try to do more of these YouTube live streams as well, okay? What can I tell about the right to ticket NFTs? You can actually check out my live on the NFTs that I did actually a couple of days ago. So go to my YouTube channel, watch that live stream. I walked through what that NFT process looks like. What would be your travel advice if North Korea hosts a World Cup? I mean, at this point, we don't know if the 2038 World Cup will be hosted in North Korea. I mean, it technically couldn't happen because Saudi Arabia is hosting 2034, but not go, probably. Not go. Hey, man. I ain't getting tortured by them bums, bro. I ain't doing that shit. Oh my god. All right. So if you haven't joined us earlier, again, the situation in Boston is, I think, a little bit more serious than what people think it is. The township of Foxborough, Massachusetts, does not want to grant the entertainment license to FIFA, because FIFA has not brought the $8 million check that they need to bring in order to pay for that license. And they're not going to be with the whole, okay, Dios te pague más tarde. No, fuck that shit. I want my money right now, is what Foxborough is saying, which, hey, I totally get it. Foxborough wants their money up front, and they need to get their money up front. So, yeah. So that's what's going on with Boston. So we don't know right now if even the games are going to happen in Boston. Okay? Because right now it is we don't know. Like, there's a 50-50 chance if FIFA does not want to pay, if Robert Kraft doesn't want to pay, if the Boston World Cup Committee does not want to pay Foxborough that $8 million, the games are not happening in Boston, which would be a massive tsunami of repercussions, right? And then, of course, we were talking about the New York, New Jersey Fan Festival fallout, which, again, the only good news of that Fan Festival not happening is that now there's going to be a lot more community activations, right? There's going to be a lot more of those community activations happening. But at the same time, it's just, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Cancel the whole tournament because I have tickets to Boston. Bro, it's especially for those of y'all that have tickets to Boston's games. Again, let me pull up the calendar. These are the 5 group stage games for Boston: Haiti, Scotland, European playoff against Norway, Scotland, Morocco, England, Ghana, Norway, France. If you got tickets to any of those 5 games, I would be paying very close attention to the Foxborough, Massachusetts town hall meetings, all right? I might, listen, if I get a bunch of coffees, you know what? Maybe I should do a YouTube video. Maybe I should contact the Foxborough, Massachusetts county government, right? Or the township government, I should say, and ask them when they're hosting their next town hall about this. Because maybe I should go take a train up to Foxborough from DC and be at that meeting. Maybe I should do that. If you guys buy me, how much coffee am I gonna need for that? Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna post something up. If I get, probably, I'm trying to think. I got points for my train, but just the pain in the ass, man. I need to pay for babysitting. All right, give me $250 in coffee. Buymeacoffee.com/football fan. Give me $250. That might be enough for a babysitter. I will make my way up to Foxborough at the Nets town hall to cover the town hall in person. All right. So give me $250 on buymeacoffee.com/football-fan. I'm going to contact Foxborough on Monday, the township of Foxborough, and ask them when is their Nets town hall meeting about the World Cup. And I will try to make my, and you know what? If y'all give me the $250, I will make it up there, okay? I'll work it out with my wife, and I'll make my way up there to Foxborough, and I will be in person at that town hall meeting to cover the event. Because I do think it's a bunch of bullshit right now that these rich-ass people and organizations won't give Foxborough $8 million. Oh, my God. So, yeah, give me $250 in coffee. We'll make it happen. Poppy, be real with me. Can I get a Mexico game ticket for less than $1,000? No. I don't think so. Resale is like killing it right now. Do I have any information about who's hosting 2028 Copa America or host bids? None. And I hope it's not the U.S. Not with this bullshit, bro. We can't give Trump another fucking event. I'm sorry. We can't give it, man. Any FanFest updates? I was just talking about it right now on my YouTube live stream. I'm on YouTube live stream right now. I'm kind of watching the Olympics right now. All right. But no, please, no more sporting events in the United States until we vote out this dumbass administration and we put in some. Look, I'm not saying the Democrats are perfect. No way in fucking hell they're perfect. I was lobbying hard, to the Biden administration before Trump, to fix the visa situation and everything. Okay, I'm not saying the Democrats are fucking perfect, but holy fuck, do we not need these people right now? That's all I'm saying. Okay, let me, tighten it up on my language. Will third-party vendors' price for tickets only get higher as the tournament draws near? Probably. It depends on the games, okay? Because, again, you're going to have some of these games, and I know, look, with all respect to Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia, but the reason why we're memeing that game so much is because we don't want to pay $300 for that game, bro. It's not about y'all, okay? We don't want to pay $300 for that game. We would love to go see it. We'd like to cheer for Cape Verde. But, bro, not for $300, man. No way. Will this be the worst World Cup ever or just not as good as it potentially was? I think it's the latter question, actually, funny enough. I think it's just not going to be as good as it could have been. First off, America decided to vote for Trump. That ruined it completely. That ruined it completely. And if y'all are still Trump supporters, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, why would you, be supporting that man? All right. And again, I'm not saying that Democrats would have been better by miles. Right? I'm not saying that necessarily, but the level of collusion that FIFA with Infantino has done with Trump, I think that's what's made this worse and has prevented the vibes from really carrying it forward. This could have been a really, really good, amazing tournament. My coverage would have been more about travel than the politics of travel. And I think we all would have been cool with that. I would have been totally cool with that. All right? I would have been cool with that. I wanted my coverage to be about travel, not the politics of travel, even though I work in politics. Pero así estamos, papi. I think it's more that this tournament could have been better, and it's not. Okay? We need a third political party. Or at least the Democratic Party needs to become more, socialist. Will prices raise for Phase 4, especially for games that no one wants to go, like Saturday Cape Verde? That would be surprising if the prices go up for in Phase 4. Okay, because what do you mean they're going to increase in price? You need to decrease them in price, and that way people would go to them. How bad was the Club World Cup genuinely? I don't think it was that bad. It was just the ticket prices made it bad. The ticket prices made that tournament bad, bro. The ticket prices totally made it bad. FIFA saw that people were paying $20,000 tickets, so they increased it. Maybe. So if the games don't happen in Boston, you think they're going to move the game somewhere else? I don't know. That's the we don't know part of this entire situation with Foxborough. And I don't want to speculate. I don't want to be bullshitting y'all, okay? I don't know. I don't know where these games are going, if they go somewhere. Because what city right now is prepared to take on not just one game, but 7 of them. Chat, 7 games? One city? No. No. There's no city in the United States that is monetarily ready and fiscally ready to take on 7 games. They're not ready. Maybe they move each of these games off to other host cities right now, but there's no city that's ready to take on 7. I'm telling you that right now, politically speaking, there's not San Antonio, bro. Nobody is ready. Their budgets would need to have been adjusted for, like, they would need to have money in the bank to be able to then say, hey, we got $50 million right now that we can host these games right now. That's not going to happen. That's not, unless the city decides, hey, we're going to tax our own people, cut services to have these games. It's not going to happen. Okay? If Boston doesn't pay, Trump is going to want games to be relocated to D.C. To what stadium in D.C.? That's the problem. There is no stadium capable in D.C. And if it does, let's just say, let's go with that scenario. Trumpito wants to act like a, like a freaking dictator. Fine. Say it goes to D.C. They would have to move all the 5 least popular games to D.C. because Audi Field's not big enough. Baltimore, again, Baltimore's budgets and finances. Guys, each city has a fiscal budget. They don't have the budget for these games. They don't have the budget for these games. Chat, it's about security. It's about security. It's about security. Those costs alone eat up the budget. Yeah, I went to the University of Virginia. Wahoo wah. Back in the day. Chicago is not going to want to do it. Chicago never wanted to host any World Cup matches in the first place, so they ain't doing it. Vegas, maybe. That's an intriguing option. Hotels are there, obviously. Has an international airport. The stadium is there. But then the stadium doesn't have the specific metrics, right, that they need. And they haven't been growing the grass. Charlotte, again, no city in America has the money. They don't have the check. They don't have the dough. America is broke. Philly can't do it. +7? No way. No way. Guys, let's just be honest. Pick your city. Call your representative on Monday. Hey, if Boston doesn't have, you can't lose the World Cup matches, can we host? They will tell you, fuck no. They will say, no, we can't. Yes, you have the stadium. You don't have the money. No one has money right now. Because we poured it into ice. We poured it into ice, chat. That's why we don't have any money. Send it to Maine. Oh my God, bro. We are so broke. This country's so broke. Send it to Mexico. They might be able to, but who knows? Seattle's going to be interesting because of Pride Day. I think it's going to be fantastic. Celebrate the LGBTQ community. If the 2 teams that are playing don't want to be part of that, that's on them. But no one's telling those 2 teams to, I don't know what they're thinking. Are they thinking that Seattle's gonna force them to be gay? I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. I'm aware that culturally speaking, they don't recognize gay people. Like, okay, But Seattle wants to celebrate Pride. Wants to celebrate the LGBTQ community. So that's what's going to happen. Seattle has told me they're going to celebrate Pride. And so those teams either play or don't play. But Pride will be celebrated in Seattle. Philly can do it. We're used to it. All right. Hopefully y'all got money. That's what I'm saying, right? Again, it's all about money. Which city ain't broke in North America right now? That's also true. That's also true. Which city in North America isn't broke? I don't know about any city in North America right now that has money left over, bro, that they are rich. Any city. Name it. Name it in the chat. Who has money? If you got money, you probably should be calling your representative. Hey, get those games from Boston today. Let's go. Bro, I'm telling you, Trump has got money. Yeah, Trump has money for himself, bro. He ain't spending it on this World Cup. He wants us to spend the money, bro. Then you see what he just did with the board of peace. Hey, I'm gonna move $10 billion of our taxpayer money to this board of peace. He has no authorization to do that. But he's not gonna put his own money. Mi querido LA. Papi, si LA ni puede tener un fan festival de 5 días. Like, that's all they're doing, a fan festival for 5 days, bro. Do you think I should just buy resale since I probably won't get tickets for FIFA? Again, shop around, Papi. Shop around. Don't just give in. There really isn't like a best time to do it, bro. It's just best time is when it's at its cheapest, bro. If you're tracking the same tickets and you see that they're at the cheapest, then buy when they're at the cheapest, bro. Like, that's the best time possible. Toronto does not want any more games. I can tell you that much right now. Their infrastructure is not going to handle. Ticket sales for Intercontinental Playoffs start February 26th. Can you confirm that with me, brother? Can you send me that information so now I can go ahead and confirm it with my sources? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Nah, man, I'm telling you right now, no other city in North America is ready to host World Cup matches. So it either happens in Boston or those games get moved around. I don't know how they're going to move around them, but maybe they put them one in each city. I don't know how that's going to be. Dale. All right. Okay, chat. Well, let's go ahead. Let's wrap this up. There really isn't much else to talk about here. But again, we will have to wait and see whether this is just the crisis moment of every other previous World Cup and everything just goes back to normal, or this is seriously the start of even more bad news for the 2026 World Cup. Thank you all so much. Again, you know where to support me. Follow me across all socials. BuyMeACoffee.com/travelfootballfan. If you give me $250 in coffee, I'll see if I get to Foxborough and join that next city council meeting, because that would be fascinating to say the least. All right, chat. We'll talk to y'all later.